So Tim, tell me about what we have here, assorted on the table.
This has been the product of years of painstaking research and development, combined with the flash of inspiration that I think can only happen in the moment. It would be no surprise if I told you how much of an inspiration Liquidrum has been to me.
I understand.
And the inspiring thing to me about it is especially its drive towards entrepreneurship. It's a disruptive element. Yes?
Entrepreneurialism.
When you think of any of the great figures in our art, they're able to take charge of their careers and their inspirations, almost like a little kid, like that they can grab their inspiration by the belt and turn it upside down and shake the change.
I agree. What I find so inspirational is how you've disrupted your own life.
Yes.
It is time for something new. And the thing that is new is what we're looking at here.
You're correct. I think we're never living our lives to the fullest unless we just take it every 6 or 8 months and say, life, I need to blow you up. Completely starting over, from scratch.
You know what I find interesting?
Yes.
6 to 8 months. I've always thought of it as 7 months.
You always have been a more temperate personality than I
have
in these regards.
In the same way, I've tried to blow up my own life every 7 months. And that brings us to this moment.
Yes. I have to say, I've taken from the Liquidrum model, you've inspired me to start my own company. This is the product launch of FeenPerCo. And I would like to introduce to you the Todd Meehan signature line of percussion accessories.
Sorry, it's just I need to take...
Before I show you the product line, I think we need to talk a little bit about the philosophy behind this stuff.
Of course we do.
Entrepreneurial spirit is the thing that lets us disrupt our lives. It says to us, hey, here's this small idea that very few people care about.
Very few.
And come hell or high water, I'm going to monetize it again and again and again and again.
And that's the point, Tim. Because so few people care about it, you have to repeatedly monetize
Precisely.
it. I can't tell you how refreshing it is to hear you say that.
And it's that spirit that I've built the Todd Meehan line from FeenPerCo.
This is where FeenPerCo, from which it was born.
Yes.
From that.
Like the phoenix from the ashes.
Exactly.
In that car dashboard.
And like the phoenix, it will die again, but be reborn over and over.
Assuming I push the cigarette lighter in, it will catch the tinder and flame out in the front seat of the car of destiny.
But if you monetize every single one of those events,
yes,
then we're on to something.
May I introduce the line?
Let's talk about some of the line.
I'd like to introduce to you first the TM1. I've built this mallet to get to the bottom and the core of the toy xylophone sound.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, maybe I'm recording a karaoke version of some cover of some obscure AC/DC tune. This is the implement I think that will get all the way to the bottom of this instrument sound. I know you're a trailblazer from your experience, so I've tried to make this thing simultaneously versatile and extremely specific.
Tim, you know what stuck with me when you described these?
No, sir.
The use of the words, 2 words,
yes,
specifically bottom and core. To just go to the bottom, there's 101 mallet makers out there.
It is true.
Who would just go to the bottom. But for you to go even further to the core
precisely
of the sound, to capture both the bottom and the core simultaneously in one mallet.
It's really only possible to get to the center by first coming underneath.
And I think it's a huge mistake of most of the mallet makers out there who come at it from up above. The next set of implements I see on the table,
yes,
at first take I think, wow, that packaging. Because you didn't just make a pair of sticks. You made a pair of sticks and you put them in something.
Part of our design philosophy at FeenPerCo is that if the trappings are beautiful, so will the result as you bring them out into the world.
I couldn't agree more.
May I present to you the TM2, a beautiful paper carrying case Again, covering a hyper-specific and yet extremely versatile snare drum, bongo, cowbell implement. I've worked extremely hard with this model to achieve the perfect balance between rigidity and flexibility. Let's say you're trying to play a soft excerpt like Bolero or something, and all of a sudden you have a rubber pencil. And yet at the same time, when you have to dig in for some backsticking figure or stick flip,
can I just take a moment to say, how has it taken this long for a stick crafts person to hit the nail on the head in that way?
Entrepreneurship.
I have to tell you, Tim, from the get-go, I've had my eye on this next set of mallets.
The TM3 is really special.
There's something about it that's just jumping out at me.
I call it the world's first MARIMPANI implement.
Explain that.
If I take 2 of the TM3 MARIMPANI implements, I have the perfect platform for, say, a Beethoven excerpt. But then, if I cross them over, I have a platform capable of reaching the wide leaps in, say, a Vignau,
Absolutely.
A Yellow After the Rain.
And from what I can see here, this is clearly, that interval spread that you just demonstrated is at least an octave, right? At least.
I suppose it depends on the maker, but the versatility of the thing is really the circumstance.
This last one, it's more about curiosity for me. I can't for the life of me figure out what exactly they are.
Fantastic. Well, I would like to present to you the TM4,
Todd
Meehan Triangle Kit. This is a 2-part product.
I didn't see that coming. Let me just say I didn't see that coming.
The first set of the TM4 Triangle Kit is to construct the instrument.
I see.
There are a few products on the market balanced as well as this instrument.
I can already feel it in the hand.
The second implement in the kit becomes the implement.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but this could easily be fit into a pocket, perhaps even a sock.
I made these implements for you in the spirit of Liquidrum. I couldn't be prouder of the line.
Tim, I have to have a serious conversation with you. I've had an opportunity now to play each and every one of these products. Tim, I have to start sort of big picture. I think the line is absurd. I think as just conceptually, if we just want to start conceptually, big picture,
Okay.
Yeah, it makes no sense whatsoever. Tim, here's what happened. I tried them out. Let me just kind of go down the line. These we gave a great effort on the vibraphone. You know, it seems like you went to a craft store, Tim, and you bought 2 lightweight wooden balls. The trouble was when I actually put it on the instrument.
Yep.
And I'm not talking about this instrument. I understand this pairing. This makes sense.
Okay.
On real instruments, Tim, it becomes nonsensical. Has Tim tried to just pull one over on me? Is he setting me up for just an enormous amount of embarrassment out in the professional world? These are just some of the feelings that I had when I played this. You may feel otherwise. I'm just sort of sharing. This is just a little bit of feedback. Let's just kind of get down to the sticks. Tim, did you ever think about tips, beads?
I suppose that is something we could initiate a quality control standard.
You know, at least in terms of effective snare drum stick, if that's what we're going for. Let's carry on. The TM3s. I tried these both on the marimba and the timpani. On the timpani, I thought, well, I can see sort of the lighter, brighter application. Perhaps a Mozart.
Classical period, definitely.
Similar era.
Okay.
Yes. When I went to apply them, Tim, they didn't make any sound.
Well, are you sure you were striking them correctly?
was using as much motion as physically and humanly possible.
As is your style.
In fact, zero sound came out of the drum. It was almost interesting, as if you were making a stick that was anti-sound in some ways. Furthermore, what I thought might have been an octave spread at the largest interval set turns out to be actually not even a second. Exactly. And let's move on to the final product. Earlier I applauded you for the portability. Similar to the TM3s though, Tim, the TM4 doesn't make any sound whatsoever. Still to this moment now, I'm still not getting any sound out of this, no matter what I do. I even took the liberty to try the TM3 on it. That too produced no sound. Turns out the TM3 doesn't produce sound on anything that you hit. Tim, I applaud you again on the concept of the line. I certainly appreciate my name being preliminarily attached to the sticks.
Is this the JT line?
IPO. Entrepreneurship. It's not funny. Perhaps a special guest artist might save the monetization.
A special artist might save the monetization?
Monetization?
Mm-hmm. He might. He might.